Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let's see how this goes. Alright, yeah, it should be pretty cool there. Move this over. And move this over. Move it like that. And make this part maybe a bit bigger. Alright, I think we are good to go. Okay, we have so far 0 people in the chat. Hey, let's go. I'm gonna copy this in Rumble, Odyssey. Alright guys, we got, okay, I'm gonna check this is working.
I'm going live.
Okay, that's the intro. Hey, let's go. I'm gonna copy this in. Yeah, I can hear myself. I'll check the Odyssey. Okay, 29,000 tons of thermite. Let's go. You're the first person. And we got 3 people in here. Let's go. Alright, let's go. 29,000 tons. And, let's see what this is. Okay, I don't know what this... Okay, I think this is streaming as well. This is Odyssey. Oh. Okay, Odyssey's working. I'm just gonna open up the chat. So I'm streaming on a whole bunch of stuff here. I got the hang of multi-streaming. Okay, I'm gonna open this up again. All right, so we got this setup there. I'm gonna minimize this. So the ones that don't, yeah, I'll have the YouTube as the main one, and then if there's if the other ones get more traction, I'll make that as the main one. All right, so now we are good to go. And guys, here is the InLeo threadcast if you guys wanna figure out how to use it. And yeah, we'll get right in the show, and basically I'll try to answer any questions we have, math, science related, and then default one will be on cold fusion. No thorium. Wait, Donald Duck is in the house. Let's go. That's the moon landing. Also, yeah, I had some bad news. So ever since I did my moon landing video, I never I never looked at the moon landing besides like. I left it out and open. I'm like, okay, it could be real, it could be fake, it could be some parts of it fake, and so on. But and the main reason I even considered it being fake was the Richard Hall and Andrew Johnson covered it. But after looking through like hours and hours, I think it's kind of like flat Earth. So moon landing is it's looking like it's real. So that's the bad news. That was the bad news bears, guys. Bad news is, so when you see the moon landing conspiracy stuff, it's the same thing as flat Earth. It's flat Earth is fake, and the moon landing conspiracy is well, the main thing is it just a rock in space and they went to it. So that's and I think they'll eventually make a commercial as well where you can go there and pay and fly out at least to space. All right. Anyways, guys. So that's this one, and also another part I want to illustrate is on InLeo, you could start using the AI part here. So I'm gonna go ask Leo, and again, this is all in the blockchain, and it's all free. Well, you just need a few resource credits, but it's not much. But anyways, this is all public on the blockchain. Nobody can delete it. So I'm gonna say, what is cold fusion? So I'm gonna go ask. So you can go and type it right here, hashtag ask Leo, what is cold fusion? Instead of using Grok and all that, so Grok AI and all that, they get all your data, they get all the benefits from it. But here on InLeo, this is using the Hive blockchain. So if you're just using the platform, if you're holding Hive tokens, the actual bot requires Hive tokens to process. So yeah, so yeah, so your Hive tokens, when you're staked and so on, you need to stake it to use. But typically you don't need much, like $1 or something, just to have like pretty much unlimited transactions or posts and so on. But the bot has to have a whole bunch because it's doing like many thousands and millions of posts. So let's see. Okay, there it is. So this bot right here posts on the blockchain. This is immutable. It's on there forever. And I want to see how much it's using. This requires resource credits. So in other words, if you stake the Hive, and the more people that use AI, just using basic AI on the Hive blockchain, it's requiring more resources from the Hive blockchain. So that means your tokens go up in value. So the demand of it go up and up. And so again, Hive is most underrated crypto, I think, ever since at least Bitcoin. Okay, 29,000 tons of thermite. Your advanced technology hypothesis on moon landing made me rethink about this thing. I give that advanced one because it's like almost every single okay, anyways, Donald Ducks, there's no airplanes flying the towers, okay? So anyways, stop blaming Israel for things that never happened. Okay, there's no planes there. Anyways, yeah, advanced hypothesis. Okay, the main reason I made that advanced technology hypothesis of moon landing is that even if you can't go there, they still have advanced tech that can go there. So unless space is some sort of a holographic fluid that you can't get by, there's no reason why they just can't go there. And but looking at the moon landing stuff, yeah. So the main thing it says was I assumed that the Apollo 11 landing on it, like, that had to happen. So it's like, if it's planned to have to happen, then they're obviously gonna have advanced tech to make sure that it doesn't doesn't go astray. But looking at it in more detail, there's actually 1 million Apollo missions. There's Apollo 17 missions. So Apollo wiki. Okay, actually, instead of using even wiki, yeah. So this is what I mean. Like, all this info is on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia does whatever. But I just want to quickly go over it. So the Apollo program. So, and also another thing is the Apollo program is $25 billion. Again, a big giant cash like stealing just to go to a rock far away. So this is 257 billion by 2020 dollars. Probably another 500 billion. Inflation probably goes up another 50% or in, like, because of COVID nonsense. So anyways, I just want to see how many missions there were. Way back from the moon was quicker, shorter time is also ridiculous. No, I don't know. Again, Donald Duck, one more completely outlandish claim you make. Just go away. It's nothing ridiculous about that. Well, what is the actual reason for it, and how much time is different? And I would assume it's I think I saw it should be shorter anyways. Based on the Earth's gravity. Because when you're going towards the moon, you're getting away from Earth's gravity. So but then the Earth is much bigger, so it's gonna be faster. So that's probably the reason for why. I just want to go back to this. How many missions were there? Just show the missions. Missions. Apollo program, how many are there? This, because it was from 60s. Yeah, let's go right here. Duration 1961 to 1972. So Apollo 11. So Apollo 10 is they actually apparently went to the moon and then went down and then back up. Like, they didn't land. They just went down like a few miles before landing just to test it out. And Apollo 11 was the one. So it wasn't like it was a one-shot thing. So it just seems I think it's just a big money grab. But again. Looking through all the photos and so on, I've not seen a single photo besides that one that looked like a possible composite, but I think it was just airbrushing or just enhancing the contrast and so on. Not many people willing to think outside of the box. Donald Duck. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you're an AI bot. And the other thing is, I just want to, again, the moon landing is stuck in my head just because I went through infinite amount and main reason because Andrew Johnson is super believes in Bart Sibrel and all that, but Bart Sibrel is like lying to the max. And anyways, I just want to go illustrate this part here. So this is March to the Moon. It has the HD scans, and there's literally thousands. This is Apollo. You can go to Apollo 4, 758 images, and you go to Apollo 11 has 1,245 from just one of them. This is just one camera. There's another 1,000 over here, and basically, my view, and there's Apollo 17, another 2,000, 1,000. So it's like my view, it's like getting this many HD photos, and not a single one that's like a slam dunk. It's kind of like 9/11, where every single photo, every single video shows the exact same thing. The tower's turned to dust. Every single debris pile shows barely any dust. And it's the same thing with Apollo. Every single one shows the exact same thing. Some guys on a rock, far away from the Earth. And let's see. And most of the photos are just like a bunch of nothing. So let's go to Apollo 11 one. That's the one where they actually. That was the first one. But apparently there's the other ones too. 17 is also they walked on the moon, and so on. I'm gonna go over here. Let's go over. I'm gonna go Apollo 11 right here. This is 38 images on this one, and then a lot of them are just literally just looking at rocks. Okay, so that's a bunch of rocks. Okay. And again, these are all Super HD. You can every single one of these is 18 megabytes. Yeah, it's consistent. And again, you'll see a lot of the, for example, all 38 photos from this camera is just looking at rocks. So it's like, there's nothing that seems like, oh, outlandish trying to convince you, oh, it's something happening. And the other big one is wait, it's going here. Telemetry computer tapes of NASA moon landings are destroyed, gone. So there's no way to check something. And not really. There's a bunch of actual photos right here. It's like I'm literally checking the authenticity right now. These photos are actual scans. Okay, you can't just make up stuff. So and the moon landings, every single thing matches. Okay, this is here in space. So anyways, Donald Duck, just ease up on your everything's fake nonsense. Yehudi said planes were at that event on 9/11, so you're already way behind the cue ball. Anyways, and again, most of the photos are like literally just like the worst photos ever. Like they're not even okay. There's one with I think a space station there. Shouldn't keep going through all these. And again, this is 50 photos, so it's like and again, there's different photos from it, and you can see the continents moving and so on. So it's like to fake every single one of these and have and every single one in consistent order. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you'll need like $1 trillion fakery industry. And it's opposite of 9/11, where it's like nobody actually talks about the info. They always avoid the evidence at all costs. This one here, all the evidence is right there. There's literally a bunch of reports from all the manufacturers that made any parts of it. They did see how the cameras, for example, how they did results on it, and they did like post moon landing reports, pre moon landing reports. So again, almost this is went through 100, and none of them seemed to be like anything like movie-ish. And okay, this is one far away from that. Yeah, okay, there is, yeah, there's the probe, there's Apollo 11, okay, it's about to land. Okay, this is the landing one. Okay, there it is, it's landed. So no data available about those 5 trips to the moon plus blueprints, how to build a rocket are destroyed. Anyways, I don't know about blueprints are destroyed. It's just an old rocket. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Anyways, Donald Duck, just ease up. I don't want this filled up with a bunch of nonsense. First of all, you have to get to the same page where, first admit that there was no plane. Admit there were no planes on 9/11. Actually, I have to be very careful how to word it. On that day, if you want to be taken seriously. Okay. Anyways, admit there was none. Otherwise, just stop it. You get a hold of Bart for an interview yet? You're good with that kind of stuff. I do want to get a hold of him, but I'm trying to tell you guys, it's like trying to get Richard Gage on the show. He's I asked people to message him, get Bart Sproul. But again, it's very very obvious Bart Sproul is lying. And also another part here is the lighting here. It's like all like pitch. The shadows are pitch dark. Okay, there's the edges are crisp, so you need a super strong light source in the background, and a singles light source. In other words, the sun. Okay, so again, there's another part I'm trying to say. Like, there's so far hundreds of photos, and they're all just like random shots, and it's not like they're trying to make any movie set or anything. Okay. But then, yeah, okay, there's the flag. Again, and also again, these are a lot of these are HD. This is raw file. You can get 300 megabytes. So creating raw files of every single one of these scans of the film. I mean, of the actual analog there is again. It's like, do they have some sort of advanced AI CG model that has complete coherence and consistency? Like every single thing matches up. Like again, this is just 300 photos. I'm just power through what else we got in here. Okay, there's that area, and yeah, every single one's numbered, and I think they have details on every single one. Okay, now it's them leaving. I think it's leaving. I'm now just getting closer to Earth. Okay, and now okay, anyways, so here's the AI on there. I politely asked Mr. Gage to come here as an honorary guest. Yeah. Actually, okay, we'll message Bart Sabrel right now. Bart Sabrel, okay, let's go to his website. Okay, we're gonna go to right now. But, oh yeah, another part is for those who didn't see my post on Bart Sabrel. This was, I think, so in my in my moon landing stream, I kind of suspected that let's see, Bart. So I suspected that his role was to distract from the coming greatest conspiracy of all time. So I wrote here, very interesting that Bart Sabrel's first moon landing film was on January 18th, 2001, and using the tagline, "The greatest government conspiracy of all time." So I had suspected that Bart's role was to distract from the upcoming actual greatest conspiracy, 9/11. So he published his first documentary literally on 2001. So a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. And he called it the greatest conspiracy of all time. It was January 18th, 2001. So it's like right in the new millennium. All of a sudden he's talking about the moon landing. And then the greatest conspiracy of all time happened, 9/11. And then so I suspected that that was his role. But then fast forward to just after another great conspiracy on COVID-19. So the COVID-19 scam happened. And that's like the biggest one since 9/11. And then Bart Sabrel publishes his latest book. So he's publishing he keeps wanting to focus on the moon. So in other words, he's mooning us, hence the term mooning us. So about the moon landing, of course, September 11th, 2001. So he actually published this book, his latest book, the year after COVID, and this is during mandates and all this stuff. And instead of talking about COVID, the biggest scam ever, he's talking about the Moon Man, and his book right here, and he's talking about how what's it called, CIA he was on a CIA hit list. Well, it was kind of just the Edgar Mitchell just made off the record mark saying, should we get the CIA to wax him? Because the guy is knowing AF. But anyways, but he published on September 11th, 2021. So it's like a double whammy. So it's like biggest distraction ever from COVID and 9/11 at the same time. And he's posting the Moon Man. Like, what is going on here? And how is Andrew Johnson not see through his lies? Okay, anyways, let's go message him right now. We'll do a live messaging. Okay, Bart Sabrel, order new hardcover, and see what else. So he's big on this moon stuff. Google's advance says Chinese moon landing are real. American moon pictures are fake. All right, what is going on here? How do I message him? How do I, Bart Sabrel's YouTube. Oh, Bart's YouTube. Oh, contact Bart. Okay, we are doing a live messaging right now. I'm gonna go Gmail. And also, guys, John Hutchison is back on. He got his iPad, but he doesn't know how to log into his YouTube, so he made a new YouTube account. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay. I said John Hutchison's back. He sent me this one right here. Russia Doomsday broadcast cryptic words. What does it mean? John Hutchison, always up to no good. Okay. Let's go here. I'm gonna send this to Bart Sabrel. We're gonna expand this. Live stream interview. Hi Bart, I have seen some of your work on the moon landing. Yeah, John's iPad's fixed, guys, and he created a new account. I'll send an email to Bart right now on the moon landing, and was wondering if you are interested in. Okay, I'll just say my name. Hi, my name is, and I run the Math Easy Solutions YouTube channel. I've seen some of your work on Moonlighting. I was wondering if you're interested in joining a future live stream. To discuss your work. Let's say streams. I usually stream on Saturdays at 1 p.m. PST, Vancouver, Canada time. Okay, Okay. Let me know if you are interested. And I think a good date would be, let's click on my thingy. So yeah, so next week I was supposed to do a stream with someone on biodigital convergence, but I might do a live stream of a freedom rally at one of the like political offices here in Vancouver. I was told by Alan Forrest to go there. Anyways, so 17th I'm gonna have a stream with that Jean Treduncia, the French 9/11 lady, and then so I'll pick the 31st. Okay, May 31st. If you're interested. How about Saturday, May 31st. Let's go. We're gonna go May 31st because I want to do like alternate guest solo stream. Okay. At 1 p.m. PST. All right. Okay. And then, so Bart sent me an email a few years back saying that Elon Musk did not send it to you. Okay, with no propulsion acceleration possible. Both answered yet. A very interesting back in email. Okay, anyways, Donald Duck, if you weren't this entertaining, I would have banned you already. But anyways, just ease up on the comments, Donald Duck, because I think you're a robot, but you're posting way too much, and you did not get a message from Elon Musk saying that Newton's third law on vacuum is. Oh man, this is too good. Okay, guys, so I messaged Bart Sabrell, but again, I don't know how to source it up. He's straight up lying to our faces. I can sense a liar from a million miles away. And I might do a moon landing like Israel playlist, but basically that mainstream debunker guy is pretty good. I haven't seen a single like major flaw in his work on it. Let's go McKeegan. How do I see it? Like McKeegan moon. I'll put this right here. So this guy right here, yeah, I've seen like a bunch of his videos, and I couldn't find any faults in like the majority. There's very little any. Okay, why does it zoom out in it? Like, I'm just gonna go moon landing. Yeah, so going through all these, it's very obvious that yeah, they actually went to the moon. But also the Bart Sabrell one, it's like. Bart Sabrell's on Joe Rogan. Like, I don't know what more do you need. And also, so think this way. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Bart Sabrell, Joe Rogan. Also, I don't know why. How do I make this like? If I zoom in, this one gets bigger. Anyways, okay. He had 1.5 million views. 11 months ago. Bart Sabrell. So you got Bart Sabrell in there. So he's got this guy with this Illuminati eye on top of his head. And so in other words, he gets this guy, he gets on Joe Rogan's show, 19.7 million subscribers, and like the biggest Spotify ever. So how is Bart Sabrell getting on there? And then when you go to Joe Rogan and you just go, you bring up 9/11 to him, here's what happens. Let's see, what's up? Okay, and also Trump coin is pumping. Okay, let's see this. I'm going to play this right here. So Eddie Bravo brings up Dr. Judy Wood on Joe Rogan's show with Alex Jones, and it turns into Alex Jones arguing he's not covering up 9/11. And then you also have Joe Rogan just, he knows about 9/11, but doesn't talk about it.
You know Dr. Judy Wood?
And he's also been requested many times to have her on the show, but he wouldn't do it. So this is the guy that somehow he lets Bart Sabrell in, but he will not let Judy Wood on. So think about it. Or anyone bring up real 9/11 stuff.
You know who Dr. Judy Wood is?
No. I do know.
She's got Dr. Judy Wood wrote a book called "Where Did the Towers Go?"
Yeah, particle
and her theory is this is just some lady, scientist lady.
No, I know. She said it was a federal agent for not believing her.
Based on the fact that there was, this is what she claims, based on the video and the pictures that she has of where the towers collapsed.
By the way, I'm tired of Fetzer speaking for me. Sorry.
She's saying that there was no rubble. The name of the book is called "Where Did the Towers Go?" She said that direct energy weapons, some kind of direct energy weapons, dustified the buildings, turned the buildings to dust because there was no rubble.
A dude gave me a book on that.
Have you seen that?
You got to read this. He's like,
in Australia? In Australia?
No, he's in America. He was in LA. He told me they use Tesla technology. I was like, what?
Eddie, I'm not saying you're wrong to ask that question.
You know what? For me, it doesn't matter if it was justified or they blew them up Las Vegas style.
It doesn't matter. Here's
those buildings, in my opinion,
in Sandy
got blown
Hook
up.
and in the World Trade Centers, I've been accused of covering up. And I don't like that.
You mean what?
He's been accused of covering things up, of being a bullshitter.
Not like I'm covering up. Like, oh, Joe,
Well, you know a lot of
Joe says 9/11.
A lot of people think you're a Zionist.
Hologram planes.
A lot of people think you're a Zionist shill. You know that. That's the biggest one. That's the biggest one about Alex Jones.
You know, I'll be honest with you.
That's the biggest one. People always, and you know what? I always have your back. Always, always. I said, you know what? If I didn't know him, I would probably think that too.
Yeah, so anyway, so this is what happens when you bring up real info. But again, all three of them, they 100% know about 9/11 towers turned to dust. Eddie Bravo as well. Now, I think Eddie Bravo has Richard Gage on now. It's all a bunch of nonsense these clowns are. Anyways, conspiracy theorists is in the house. Let's go. And then also this Donald Duck guy. Okay, one more random, just complete nonsense about AI saying not being able to answer your question about complete like bogus physics you're talking about. Actually, I'm just gonna mute you right now. I'm just gonna mute you for let's say a bit. It's just too much. Just too much nonsense from this guy right here. I'll mute it for a bit. Let's go. Put timeout. Put you 30 minutes. Just want to have some peace and quiet from like AI robots. All right. So anyways, Alex successfully changed the subject. Yeah, that's the role. So again, Bart Sabrell goes. Somehow Joe Rogan is fine to have him for 3 hours. All right, but yet he can't even go 1 minute without admitting that he's covering up 9/11. He knows what dirty what. And again, 9/11 is so obvious. It's that's what the moon landing and flat Earth is for. It's to push the fake stuff. Yeah. So anyways, conspiracy theorists. So if you didn't show up at the beginning, basically. The bad news I have is that moon landings are real. So that's the it's like the Earth is round and moon landing happened. Oh my goodness, what kind of world are we in? So it's like every whenever you see a conspiracy, like people talking about one specific conspiracy, it's it's something's up with it. But also he mentioned the Sandy Hook one. The Sandy Hook one's very interesting. It definitely looks like it's a lot of fakery and that one as well. Okay, so that's and also going back to the Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, so he's also on. He also has Eric Weinstein talking about time traveling aliens. So how aliens time travel? Eric Weinstein explains to Joe Rogan. Again, these are the kind of guys he gets on his show, talking about complete and utter nonsense. And then what else does he have here? Okay, and then he also started endorsing Trump as per always. And then he has Trump on the show. And what else did he have? I want to go to the Joe Rogan. Yeah, this one right here. So actually going back here, Joe Rogan. So throwback to 2003 when Joe Rogan went to a satanic wedding for Stanton LaVey, the grandson of Church of Satan founder Antoine LaVey. So he's also a Satanist or something. Joe Rogan, whom was wearing a 666 a shirt mocking the crucifixion while making the devil horns hand sign during the wedding, claims he's not a Satanist but only went because his friend was, quote, performing at the satanic wedding. Okay, so this is the guy that Bart Sabrell somehow gets on, and this guy's the biggest. So this guy right here wearing crucifix, like a 66 satanic crucifix mockery, is with Church of Satan founder. He's doing the devil horns. So this is the guy. This is the biggest. Think about it this way. This is the biggest podcast in the world. Okay, all right. And listen to what he says, and then listen to what the claims he says. Listen to what he says about the claims that he's a Satanist.
To a wedding that my friend Duncan Trussell was performing. For these two Satanists in like 2003, and to this day, it was one of the LaVeys, Anton LaVey or Stanton LaVey, whatever is his son, and his son got married. This was some young hedonist, and they call themselves Satanists. And so Duncan performed at this wedding, and I went there. To this day, I get tweets about being a Satanist.
All right. Yeah, so that's him. He's saying that he just went to a thing because his friend was performing at a satanic wedding with the Church of Satan founder's son. Like, what? Are we in the same reality? Like, and also the highest degree of the Church of Satan is MAGA. So MAGA. Yeah. So here, also here, if you go to the website, MAGA, aka Trump's MAGA, is the highest ranking is the highest ranking degree in the Church of Satan. So MAGA's fifth degree. Like, where are we? Highest ranking degree. Like, and also there's another video. I just want to, before I get into the, actually we have a math question here. Sorry guys, this is a So this Wednesday stream, so not just me rambling about conspiracy stuff. Anyway, there was a comment right here. Okay, so Takwa Mosba says, in Faraday's law of integration, why is the constant equal to 0? I want an answer in physical sense. I think I answered this before to somebody. Somebody else asked it right here in my previous stream right here. I'm going to go quickly. I think it was somewhere. This guy here. Yeah, this. Okay, so I was actually literally asked this. I think this is Faraday's. This was on Maxwell's questions. Yeah, Maxwell's equation, integration constants explained. And so yeah, in Faraday's law of integration, why is the constants equal to 0? I want an answer in the physical sense. And this was physical boundary conditions. I'll send you a link here quick. I made a Grok AI one, but instead of asking Grok, so I asked Grok, and this was about Maxwell's equations. But I think and then Faraday's law as well has a constant. And I'm gonna ask the Faraday's one. Physical boundary conditions, basically here. So in electrostatics, Gauss's law relates to electric flux to the enclosed charge. If we were to change it, so I'm gonna ask it specifically to this question. And instead of using Grok, I'm gonna use on it right here. So what is cold fusion? I'm gonna go and actually I'm gonna go back to my thingy. I think some people might have used this. Okay, this was the AI bot. I'm gonna go back here. Okay, anyways, I'll just I had this threadcast there. Let's see if I have some people in okay, nobody is posted in the threadcast. It should be fine. All right, I'm gonna go back to the. I'm gonna keep going on this one. So in Faraday's law, what is? I want an answer in the physical sense. I'm gonna go ask Leo. So I'm using the Leo AI bot on Hive blockchain. I can't stress out enough how important this is. I'll post this right here. Okay, so ask Leo and Leo's and Faraday's law of integration. Well, why is a constant equal to 0? And it's gonna just takes a few seconds and see how long it takes. So I'll be using this instead of Grok AI just because unless I'll ask it as well. Continue conversation. Continue conversation. Cloning. Okay. I'm gonna go right here. I want to answer in physical sense. In Faraday's law, this one right here, integration constant is effectively 0 because the physical principles governing. And then I'll see how long this one takes. But again, the difference is Grok AI gets all the info, and this one is just a brand new one on Leo. This goes on the Hive blockchain. There it is. Answering this question, in Faraday's law of induction, the constant is not exactly equal to 0, but rather it's a matter of how we define electric field and magnetic field. The law states that the changing magnetic flux induces an electromotive force. The equation right here, where E is the electric field, DL is the differential length element, and phi is the magnetic flux. In the physical sense, a constant, often represented as a negative sign, signals the direction of the induced EMF. It ensures that the induced current flows in a direction that is opposite the change in magnetic flux according to Lenz's law. So it's not that the constant is 0, but rather it's a fundamental aspect of how induction works. What do you mean? For those interested in learning more. Okay, so this one, let's see. I just want to compare this one here. Integration constant is effectively 0 because the physical principle governing electromagnetic force induction dictate that the electromagnetic force around a closed source is solely induced by the rate of change of magnetic flux through the loop. Here's a clear physical explanation why the constant 0. So the left-hand side represents electromotive force, which is the work done per unit charge. And it's measurable physical effects such that voltage that drives a current in a circuit. Okay, no EMF without changing flux. If the magnetic flux through the constant is equals 0, Faraday's law states that this one is also 0. This means that there's no net electric. Yeah, so basically it's the reason is you need to remove that. If we added a constant, then this would violate the Faraday's law. So basically what they're saying is changing magnetic flux will have a electric field. But if you have 0, then you're going to have a 0. So again, it's by definition, I think, pretty much. So it violates the principle that, okay, this one is, we'll do that one. And I'm going to send both. Does a Faraday cage need to be connected to Earth to work, or can it work not being grounded? Yeah, it can work with anywhere. Have you looked into local AI yet? I wish I had a timer drive to figure out. What do you mean by local AI? He acts like you don't even know the guy's name. Alex James. Yeah. Which guy is he? Yeah, he acts like he doesn't know Antoine LaVey, like the church student founder. Like, what do you... If I had a friend saying, hey, I'm performing at a satanic wedding, I'd be like, okay, I'll bring the holy water and throw it in your face. All right, I'm going to go over here. I think this was okay. Talk about here's. I'll send you a link as well. This is from Enleo threads. Basically, it's a changing flux. You're not going to have in Faraday's law. There's no constant. Because it's basically defined that the changing magnetic field gets a current there. Or so let's say in Faraday's laws. So yeah, EMF, which is work done per anyways, offline on a hard drive or thumb drive. Well, yeah, that is interesting. I think you can. Yeah, that's you can probably download it all and do that. But again, that's up to you. But I prefer. I recommend using this one here. Make this one really good because this enhances everyone's stakeholders that are holding Hive. So it's like the entire community benefits from using this as opposed to X where X benefits, like Elon Musk benefits. I'm gonna put and then I'm gonna send this one as well. Okay. Yeah. So talk about that. Hopefully those answer your questions again. Okay. I'm gonna go back to this. Okay. I'm gonna keep it like this and. All right. Okay. So this one going back. Okay. And I'm gonna go back to the cold fusion stuff. Yes. Anyways, offline on a hard drive or thumb drive. You can do all stuff offline. But again, I want to do everything on the chain because this one nobody can remove it. It gets let's say you lose your hard drive and or your thumb drive now it's gone. This one it's on the blockchain now. You have a whole bunch of witnesses running powerful computers just to maintain this and so on. Would you say that the 2111 towers steel structures could be huge Faraday cages, and could this be utilized in the bring down of the buildings? Oh yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. I think yeah, I think that could help in some of the containment. I think one thing that's possible is that because you have the exterior, like the main strength is on the exterior columns, so possibly that exterior one you could block out. Like you could have the radiation going in and then make sure that doesn't go out or something like that. But yeah, I definitely think there's something to that. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to that cold fusion one. Okay, I'm gonna ask it again. I'm gonna put it over here. What is cold fusion? Actually, this is the answer to this one. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna make sure everything's under this regular thread right here. Ask Leo, what is cold fusion? And the reason I'm gonna go over the cold fusion one because I had some questions in our Telegram group right here. Cold fusion. And I wanted to double check my my answer because I'm not sure if that's correct. Anyways, okay. Let's see right here. Okay. Okay, this one. I think there's some questions here. So yeah, Gene says, "Hi everyone. I'm a little bit confused with the notion of cold fusion and who better than you all to help me with this." Make sense of it. So they're always speaking about cold fusion, but they constantly speak about excess heat. Sometimes they say it's proof it exists. Sometimes it's proof it doesn't exist. And also, guys, I just want to quickly. Yeah, this is just a terminology. I'm gonna go. Okay, so we have how much more time? We have an hour and 18 minutes. Okay, we have a lot of time. I'd work missing this every 5 minutes. Okay, no worries. 29,000 tons. And I heard last time you fell asleep while driving. So while driving, you fell asleep while driving and listening to the stream. So yes, stay safe. All right. So anyways, so it says I'm a little bit confused with the notion of cold fusion and who better than you all to make sense of it. They are always speaking of cold fusion, but they constantly speak about excess heat. Sometimes they say it's proof it exists. Sometimes it's proof it doesn't exist. And while I'm not fully getting it, I understand that any reaction has a kind of heating result, even low, like it is the case in the cold fusion reaction. But I don't understand why they emphasize it so much. Why some people actually saw it happen, say that metal is actually cold afterwards. I don't know if I'm clear, but if you can give me insight, I would be glad to do this. So see the video that this guy Norman sent.
Scientists at hot fusion.
Yeah.
Apparatus, it's pretty convincing that there's a reality in it. Most of what I was taught in nuclear chemistry, once you see it happen in front of you in your own apparatus, it's pretty convincing that there's a reality, and that's what I base my.
Yes, anyways, I don't want to play the whole thing, but you guys make sure to watch that. But anyway, I'm just going to keep reading and then I'll go give my thoughts on it. So, and also, sorry, it doesn't sound more clear. Another guy, Edmund Strum, says, we observed this wonderful effect of excess power and excess heat in our lab, but sorry, but doesn't make it more clear. He says, cold fusion, metal transmutation of metals with differing melting points, fusing without apparent heat, like the Hudson effect on iron bar. And then again, it's just talking about the excess heat. So, So I get it, but I didn't get why it's called cold fusion and excess heat. So, and then let's see, the process of fluids is small, but excess heat improves more energy and output. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to this part right here. So she says, so they call it cold fusion because it transmute metal under their regular fusion temperature, but they speak about excess heat because the process still creates low heat. Again, the heating part. So I'm gonna go to what I wrote. So anyways, I wrote. Yeah, this is, and I think it's I'm basically in a general ballpark, right? So yeah, the heat of the reaction was more than expected from just the basic electrolysis of palladium. The reason for this is there was small nuclear reactions, transmutations, which normally occur at temperatures as hot as the sun. So, anyways, go back here. I'm gonna go to, I think I asked it again. What is cold fusion? Let's see the answer. I try my best not to miss the live stream. It's my drug of choice right now. Okay, let's go. Tammy says, I'm babysitting my granddaughter today, and how can anyone fall asleep during a live stream? All right, that is true. How can anyone? Okay. This bot, only issue with this bot is sometimes it malfunctions. But anyways, go back to the cold fusion one. So I asked him before. So he said, introduction to cold fusion. Cold fusion, also known as low energy nuclear reaction (LENR), is a hypothetical. It's not hypothetical. It's real. In which energy is generated at low temperatures and pressures, potentially providing a clean and efficient source of power. The science behind cold fusion. In traditional nuclear fusion, high temperatures and pressures are required to fuse atomic nuclei together, releasing vast amounts of energy in the process. Cold fusion, on the other hand, proposes that this process can occur at much lower temperatures and pressures, potentially using materials like palladium or nickel as catalysts. Current status and research. While some experiments have reported positive results, the scientific community, this mainstream stuff. That's why we need to get our AI fed with real info. And also, if I go to my... What some people don't realize is I have a free energy playlist. I didn't fall asleep. It's worth actually. I was driving while typing in chat. All right, let's go. Okay, so I actually have a free energy playlist, and then I went here just to. The first one was 1 hour, Introduction to Suppressed Technology and Science, and I put the Stanley Pons and Martin Fleischmann in there, and then I have a 7-hour one on nuclear physics and cold fusion and more. And then there's another 5-hour one on atomic physics, properties, and behavior overview. Just going over the mainstream physics, atomic physics, nuclear physics, just to get me caught up. Intelligence is already. But with AI, I think has helped a lot now because I can just like instead of having to do all this, I can literally fine tune each point. So, anyways, I'm gonna go over it right here. I'm gonna go into this part right here. So I just want to illustrate here. So this was the first part 1 here, and I think this was electrolysis. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, this was electrolysis of heavy water. Okay, on the surface of palladium. So, so in 1989, this is cold fusion from Wikipedia. In cold fusion, in 1989, Martin Fleischmann, then one of the world's leading electrochemists, and Stanley Pons. Reported that their apparatus had produced anomalous heat, excess heat, of a magnitude they asserted would defy explanation except in terms of nuclear processes. So basically, the excess heat is, as you do a reaction, you're going to have some heat, depending on, if it's exothermic or endothermic. You're going to have some, for example, if this one, it will have exothermic, so you're going to have releasing heat during the reaction. And but the amount of heat that was released was much more than the basic chemistry stuff. And the only way they can get that amount of heat was from a nuclear process, which otherwise would have involved like temperatures as hot as the sun. So when they say cold fusion, what they're actually saying is like below boiling hot fusion, below temperature of the sun fusion. Okay, so anyways, they further reported measuring small amounts of nuclear reaction byproducts, including neutrons and tritium. So tritium is just like a hydrogen and I think it with an extra neutrons. So let's go with tritium. Okay, it's just water with I think okay. So tritium it's like heavy. It's like heavy hydrogen. So a hydrogen 3 is a rare radioactive isotope of hydrogen with a half-life of 12 years. Tritium nucleus contains 1 proton and 2 neutrons. So instead of 1 proton, 1 neutron, which is a regular hydrogen. Now it has 1 proton, 2 neutrons. So the atomic mass is going to be 3. So you add up the 2. 1 plus 2. So there's a 3 there. All right. So, and that is a byproduct typically in nuclear reactions. and that's what Pons and the other guy and Martin Fleischmann were discovering. So the small tabletop experiment involved electrolysis of heavy water on the surface of palladium electrode. The reported results received wide attention and raised hopes of a cheap and abundant. So this is electrolysis of heavy water. Basically, what they're doing is breaking it apart. So I'm gonna go and ask. I'm gonna ask in Leo as well. Okay. Ask Leo or reply to him. What is electrolysis of heavy water mean? All right. Well, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go and I think I'll just use Grok for now. Grok is more refined, but in the future I'll be using the other one. So now the Grok has this one here. I'm gonna go Grok. Okay, I'm gonna ask it, what is cold fusion? Give me explanations. What is cold fusion? And the story of Martin Fleischmann and Stanley Pons. Explain any technical terms as well, such as heavy water, tritium, etc., and give the response from the viewpoint that cold fusion is very real and is being covered up by mainstream academia. All right. Okay, so anyways, so this is what you have to ask Grok, because it's all dealing with the mainstream nonsense. Okay, I'm gonna lower my desk. Okay, so lower it, standing for an hour. Okay. Alright, so Tammy says, one of the first things you learn about in chemistry is how after the sun goes down, CO2 settles to the surface, creating innumerable reactions. Interesting. Alright, we're back. Okay. Confusion has been renamed by mainstream macadamia. That's primary understanding one needs to move forward with achieving gathering information correctly. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta use it. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep going. So, from the perspective that cold fusion is real suppressed phenomenon, cold fusion refers to a process where nuclear fusion, typically the combining of atomic nuclei to release energy, occurs at or near room temperature, defying the conventional requirement of extreme heat and pressure, as seen in stars or hot fusion experiments like tokamaks, the nuclear reactions. This revolutionary energy source promises clean, abundant power with minimal radioactive waste, but its potential threats enriched energy industries and academia dogmas, leading to a concerted cover-up by mainstream science. The technical explanation of cold fusion as proposed involved the fusion of hydrogen isotopes with a solid material, typically metal like palladium or nickel. So fusion of hydrogen onto the metal there acts as a lattice to hold atoms in close proximity. I just go to electrolysis. Okay, so I'll go back here. I just want to go what electrolysis is. So the experiment, Flange and Pons use a palladium cathode and a platinum anode immersed in heavy water, DTO2. So that's I think that's deuterium or something else. We'll go to the heavy water. Heavy water. Oh yeah, that is deuterium. Yeah, so basically, it uses instead of H2O, instead of just H2O water, now you have D2O. So this is deuterium with that hydrogen has an extra neutron in each one. So it's called heavy because it's heavier than the regular one. With a lithium salt electrolyte, by passing electric current through the setup electrolysis, they loaded deuterium into the palladium lattice. After weeks, they observed bursts of excess heat, far more than any chemical reaction produced, and detectable. Okay, I'm gonna. This is pretty good. Hydrogen isotope with one proton, and so I'm gonna go read this right here. So cold fusion, as proposed, involves a fusion of hydrogen isotopes with a solid material, typically a metal like palladium or nickel, which acts as a lattice to hold hydrogen atoms in close proximity. The key isotopes involved are deuterium, a hydrogen isotope with 1 proton and 1 neutron. Oh yeah. So I forgot, the regular hydrogen is just 1 proton, no neutrons. Yeah, I think that's what it is. A hydrogen, hydrogen 1. The most common one is protium. It contains 1 proton and no neutrons. Okay, got that mixed up. Okay, so yeah, so deuterium, and then tritium is the even heavier. So deuterium is abundant in heavy water, DTO2, where deuterium replaces hydrogen in water molecules. Heavy water is denser and used in certain nuclear reactors due to its ability to moderate neutrons. Yeah, so basically provide neutrons or take in. Tritium, a rare hydrogen isotope with 1 proton, 2 neutrons. Tritium is radioactive with half-life of 12.3 years and is produced on small amounts naturally or in nuclear reactions. In cold fusion, tritium production is sometimes observed, suggesting nuclear processes. Palladium, a metal with a unique ability to absorb large amounts of hydrogen isotopes into lattice structure. In cold fusion experiments, palladium electrodes are often immersed in heavy water where deuterium atoms are believed to fuse. The process allegedly produced excess heat energy beyond what chemical reactions can account for, and nuclear byproducts like helium-4, tritium, or low-level radiation indicating fusion. Unlike hot fusion, which requires millions of degrees and generates high-energy neutrons, cold fusion is low energy, producing minimal harmful radiation, making it ideal for practical applications if acknowledged. So this is the whole unacknowledged stuff that Stephen Greer is pushing. And so instead of just acknowledge free energy tech, acknowledge 9/11 justification tech, instead of these alien wonderlands. Okay, cold fusion has been renamed by academia. If you don't use the terms they use, you will not get information in accurate terms. Yeah, I know. Cold fusion apparently was Stephen E. Jones, the guy who covered up 9/11. He gave it up. So the better one's low energy nuclear reactions, but I like the term cold fusion. Like I literally, it's kind of like Pizzagate when I was doing that back then. People were saying use a different term. It's mainstream is calling it fake news. I'm like, I really don't care. It's such a good viral name. So cold fusion is my I'll take it. I like it. The Fleischmann Pons story. So Martin Fleischmann and Stanley Pons, two respected electrochemists, announced a groundbreaking discovery in March 1989 at the University of Utah. They claim to have achieved cold fusion in a simple tabletop experiment, sparking global excitement and controversy. The experiment, Fleischmann and Pons used a palladium cathode and a platinum anode immersed in heavy water, DTO2, with a lithium salt electrolyte. By passing electric current through the setup electrolysis, they loaded. It's basically electrolysis. You just have water and you just send electricity to it. They loaded deuterium into the palladium lattice. After weeks, they observed bursts of excess heat, far more than any chemical reaction could produce, and detected small amounts of tritium and helium, suggesting nuclear fusion at room temperature. The announcement on March 23rd, 1989, they held a press conference claiming a potential energy revolution. The simplicity of their setup using affordable materials meant cold fusion could theoretically power homes or industries without fossil fuels or dangerous radiation. The backlash, mainstream academia, particularly physicists invested in hot fusion research, e.g. projects like ITER, reacted with skepticism and hostility. Critics argued that fusion at room temperature defied known physics and as it lacked the high energy conditions to overcome the Coulomb barrier, electrostatic repulsion between positively charged nuclei. Early attempts to replicate yielded mixed results, and there's also a book written about these guys were faking it. Prominent, Nature and MIT were despairing. Anyways, this was the academia shutting it down. The cover-up from this viewpoint, the dismissal was orchestrated. The energy industry, governments, and academic gatekeepers reliant on oil, gas, and billion-dollar hot fusion projects had incentives to suppress this disruptive technology. Fleischmann and Pons were ridiculed, their reputations ruined, and funding for cold fusion research was cut. Key evidence like excess heat measurements and tritium detection was downplayed or attributed to experimental error. Allegedly, MIT's replication time was manipulated to show that, yeah, there it is. This was actually what happened. This is the guy, Eugene Maloff, wrote a book on this. MIT's replication attempt was manipulated to show negative results, as later whistleblowers claimed data was altered. The duo faced ostracism. Tammy says, I like the phrase cold fusion as well. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I want to zoom into this thing. Okay, make this regular. Okay, that's how you do it. I'm going to close this. Okay, anyways, the duo faced ostracism. Fleischmann returned to UK and Pons left for France. continuing to work in obscurity, ongoing suppression of evidence. Despite the backlash, cold fusion, often rebranded as low energy nuclear reactions or LENR to avoid stigma. Again, cold fusion, I like it. They can, anyone else has issue with that, just go and talk to my invisible lawyer. Persists in underground research. Proponents argue that thousands of experiments worldwide have replicated excess heat, helium production, and transportation. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've there's a lot of journals on this. Organizations like and also right here, converting one element to another, like nickel to copper. Organizations like the International Society for Condensed Matter Nuclear Science. And private companies, Brilliant Energy, Leonardo Corporation, reported consistent results, yet mainstream journals refuse to publish and funding remains scarce. Key technical terms in modern LENR research include lattice-assisted nuclear reactions, the theory that metal lattices lower the Coulomb barrier, enabling fusion at low energies, possibly via quantum effects. Excess heat, measurable energy output exceeding input, often quantified in coefficient of performance COP, where COP indicates more energy than out than in. Transportation, observed changes in elemental composition, suggesting that nuclear reactions beyond fusion, such as neutron capture. Basically suggesting, and not just fusion, but now instead of actually changing the atomic structure, so now you're basically isotope changing. So instead of going from one atom to another, you could have a different nuclear process, such as neutron capture. So you load up an atom with neutrons, and then so you change the isotope. So that's another nuclear process as opposed to just strictly fusion. So that's why the name fusion. Cold fusion doesn't necessarily fit the full phenomenon right here, because you can have low energy nuclear reactions that do not involve fusion but involve isotope changes. Takwa Musba, are you a math teacher or an engineer? I taught math. I have a degree in civil engineering and a master's in mining engineering. So I'm an engineer by mainstream education, and then on math I taught myself math just on videos on YouTube, and the reason I started teaching math is because okay, please show the cold fusion after you're ready to throw melted metal around wood. Yeah, I'll show that soon. I go back to the math one. So I taught math. I like it because I found out in university nobody teaches math properly, and even the engineers, even the actual math degree students, like they literally have trouble with it and just like memorize instead of actually understand it. So anyways, I do whatever, but engineering is what I studied in, and I did math on YouTube because nobody knows math, and even though math is like the most important one in my view, because it's just logic. You understand it, you can understand everything. All right, I'll show you the stuff soon. I'm going to go over here. The cover-up narrative points to systematic bias, peer review, favors established paradigms, and energy cartels influence academia, and so on. Okay, I'm going to go over here. Explain Stephen E. Jones's role in the cover-up of cold fusion, as well as his later involvement in covering up 9/11 due. From the or from the perspective that Dr. Judy Wood is correct about the towers turning to dust in midair. Midair on 9/11 using cold dew / cold fusion technology. Okay, so this is you have to understand who you're talking to when you're dealing with Grok and so on. So Stephen A. Jones's role in the alleged cover-up from the perspective of cold fusion is real, suppressed technology, and that Dr. Judy Wood's theory asserting that return to dust midair is correct. Stephen A. Jones is viewed as a pivotal figure in orchestrating cover-ups for both phenomena. This is a narrative frames Jones as deliberate agent of disinformation working to protect powerful interests by discrediting revolutionary science and obscuring the truth about 9/11. Below, I explain his alleged roles. So cold fusion overview. Cold fusion or low energy nuclear reactions refers to nuclear reactions, specifically the fusion of hydrogen isotopes like deuterium, 1 proton, 1 neutron, or tritium, 1 proton, 2 neutrons, occurring at or near room temperature within a metal lattice such as palladium. Unlike hot fusion, which requires extreme temperatures and pressures in stars or tokamaks overcome a cooling barrier and so on. This produces excess heat. Anyways, they overcome it. Possible quantum effects. Mumbo jumbo. Jones' role in suppression. 1989. Martin Fleischmann and Stanley Pons announced their cold fusion breakthrough at University of Utah, demonstrating excess heat in a palladium heavy water D2O2 electrolysis setup. Stephen E. Jones, a physicist at Brigham Young University, is accused of sabotaging their work to prevent its acceptance. So informed by the Department of Energy (DOE), Jones funded by the DOE for his research on muon catalyzed fusion, a distinct process using muons or heavy subatomic particles to catalyze fusions, requiring high energy facilities and yielding negligible practical energy. Allegedly learned of Fleischmann and Pons' work through a DOD informant. A DOE format where the process was not fully refined. Jones positioned himself to undermine it, and competing research and misnaming. Jones was working on what he was calling piezo nuclear fusion, later termed geofusion, involving low-level deuterium DT fusion in metals, detecting trace neutrons but no significant excess heat. He coined the term cold fusion to describe both his and Fleischmann's work, a misnomer that linked their promising electrochemical process to this less viable one, setting the stage for debunking. Interesting. He called both of those cold fusion. Premature exposure. Jones proposed a collaboration with Fleischmann and Pons, but sensing competition, they announced the results early via March 1989. And then Jones published his findings in Nature in 1989, reporting negligible neutron emissions and no excess heat, which critics used to dismiss cold fusion as implausible. Interesting. So they used his article. Okay, now we're on another level. Leading the debunking, Jones accused of leading a scientific panel that voted against cold fusion's validity, influencing DOD's 1980 report that rejected funding for further research. So it's like they're not funding this one, but whereas they spend at current prices like $500 billion on the moon landing stuff. So in other words, getting people on a rock away from Earth, as opposed to literally free energy tech that can get them anywhere in the world and anywhere in the universe for cheap. Anyways, so. Critics like Dr. Eugene Maloff and Fire from Ice allege Jones denied excess heat claims, and also Eugene Maloff was murdered in alleged robbery. Literally shortly after after Jones started becoming a 9/11 conspiracy cover-upper. Anyways. Alleged Jones denied excess heat claims, outright ignoring evidence from labs like MIT, which reportedly reproduce Pons and Fleischmann effects but published falsified negative results. Interesting. Jones insisted on rigorous scientific proof and focused on neutron measurements and minor byproduct. This discredited the more significant excess heat observations. Anyways, the impact, the media, guided by established scientists, ridiculed Fleischmann and Pons and ruining their careers and so on. Anyways, going further. Okay, this is technical stuff. And Jones' role in the 9/11 cover-up. Dr. Judy Wood's cold dew theory, dew evidence. Judy Wood and Word Towers argues towers 1, 2, 3. They forgot 3, 4, 5, 6, and Bankers Trust. They not collapse conventionally, but were dustified in midair, turning dust. Anyways, so that is real. And then also the Hutchison effect mentions that they're producing vast energy changes without high temperatures. And anyways, going further, Jones' role in suppression after allegedly derailing cold fusion. Jones emerged in 2005 as a 9/11 truther, co-founding Scholars for 9/11 Truth and later Scholars for 9/11 Truth and Justice, and promoting nanothermite. And he's promoting nanothermite. Sorry, here. From a perspective that Judy Wood's theory is correct, Jones is accused of acting as controlled opposition, diverting attention from cold fusion to a less threatening nanothermite hypothesis. As actions include promoting nanothermite and also suppressing dew research. He clashed with Wood and Morgan Reynolds, who advocating dew theories, discrediting evidence, is manipulating data such as altering photos, colors in 9/11 papers. And in fact, I think Andrew Johnson said that he was told by Jones back then when he believed in the thermite nonsense. That to adjust the color, or that Jones was doing it directly. So, anyways, establishment ties. Jones' work at Los Alamos National Laboratories, DOD funding for muon catalyzed, and then suggests ties to military and industrial interests and so on. And then technical context. Yeah. So, anyways, so he's covering up both. This is the Jones guy, Absolutely hilarious Jones guy. I feel he's such a creep. Anyways, I'm gonna send this right here. I'm gonna put this right here. Here's more info on cold fusion from Grok. Okay, so there it is. I sent that one to that group. So that's an answer. And you guys, again, this stream is any technical science stuff. If you have anything in the chat, let me know. If it's math or math and so on, I can answer. I can try to answer it. And let's see. And also, the Takwa, did that thingy answer your what I asked when I sent it to you? Does this answer your question about Faraday's law? Because again, I think the main thing you should do is ask Grok or first, and then see what happens. And then see if that answers your question, because it's like AI is getting to the point where it a lot of minor. It's kind of like doing a Google search. It's like you can ask me something and you can Google search. Anyways, 29,000 tons says please show the cold fusion after reading your Grok through. Okay, let's go here. Cold fusion. Let's go to Hutchison Wood. So this one here, this one's a favorite one. This one, mind-boggling Hutchison effect sample of a large piece of wood engulfed by aluminum. So that's aluminum, literally like wrapping around it. And there's another one. This one's also split apart, and again, all with just regular power socket heat. Power socket energy. Very little heat, and literally magic, and it's turned to jelly. And also going back to cold fusion, what people don't realize is, again, this is okay. This is another paper here. This is actually from an Israeli journal. Low energy nuclear synthesis in earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and genesis of heavy metals. And this is a very interesting paper. It's from Israel. I'm gonna go over here, and this is very fascinating. And then they're saying heavy metals in the earth is created by cold fusion. Okay, I'm gonna go over this one right here. This was one of the most again irrefutable, like just mind-boggling, just factoids. So this is Benjamin Franklin in the year 1751. So what year is today? This is 2025. So we go back 25 years, and then another 225. I mean, yeah, 25 years, and then we go another 225. So 250 years ago, experiments and observations on electricity made at Philadelphia in America. This is Benjamin Franklin, U.S. founding father and Freemason, probably. Yeah, definitely Freemason. And he literally said that during lightning strikes, he saw that metals are often melted by lightning, though perhaps not from heat in the lightning, nor altogether from agitated fire in the metals. For as whatever body can insinuate itself between the particles of metal and overcome the attraction by which they cohere, as sun-dry menstrue can, I think it's some sort of chemical for solvent and so on, will make the solid become a fluid as well as fire, yet without heating it. So electrical fire or lightning creating a violent repulsion between the particles of the metal it passed through the metals fused. If you would by violent fire melt off the end of a nail which is half driven into a door, the heat given the whole nail before a part would melt must burn the board it sticks on. So you can melt the you can melt the nail but not the wood, and the melted part would burn the floor it dropped on. But if a sword could be melted in the scabbard and money in a man's pocket by lightning without it burning, either it must be a cold fusion. Right, so it must be cold fusion. And also, yeah, I think the earlier question, Rudy Marshall said about the Faraday cage. Yeah, you can have like I showed that before. Like here's a Faraday cage. Does not need to be grounded. This is for my phone. I can put it in. Don't get cell reception or like completely almost minimize it. Anyways, and we'll get back to my Tesla coil stuff once I get the Faraday cage built. Okay, so that is. That stuff. And then also this paper here, low energy nuclear synthesis and earthquake volcanic eruptions is generate 2025 paper. Scientific research, this website is pretty good. I guess 2.9 million visitors, and this is from an Israeli researcher, and it basically saying that, hypothesizing that, and it even says 1989 is beginning of intensive research into the phenomenon of cold nuclear fusion, renamed the low energy nuclear synthesis reactions, and so on. And basically saying that, so all chemical elements heavier than iron are not detected in the solar wind. Let's go back here. Okay, the hypothesis authors propose a new hypothesis that LENR significant energy or earthquakes and eruptions at the sensitive elements lighter than iron, thus creating excess energy, which is partially used for the synthesis of heavier elements. So basically saying volcanoes and volcanic eruptions might be using cold fusion and then fusing metals together, So in other words, and this also pushes. It's also one hypothesis for the expanding Earth model, where if Earth is getting bigger, and so back then was Earth was smaller, less mass, gravity was less, dinosaurs could be bigger because less gravity, and so and then the hypothesis is that it's Earth is gaining mass through cold fusion, probably from like energy from cosmic rays coming in from the universe, and then you get that energy, put it into metals, and producing heavy elements and so on. All right, so that's that part. All right, guys, let me know if you have any more questions. I think pretty much covered the cold fusion. We have 46 minutes left, so again, we have a 2-hour window. You can ask questions. See what else we had.
Hi, it's time for another match.
Oh yeah, this other part right here. I think we had a bunch of. Okay, anyways, I went over this 5-hour stuff on here, and I did
Your power research.
I went over the cold fusion one in part 2 here. And again, let's go to electrolysis. I'm gonna go to electrolysis of heavy water. And then also Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project has done work on this. I'm gonna go. Let's see, electrolysis, drinking heavy water, making heavy water, or I'll just go electrolysis of heavy water. Okay, I'll just do electrolysis regularly. I just want to see. I have a good overview of electrolysis.
Electrolysis is electrical current flow through a liquid which...
Alright, actually I got a message right here from Takwa, says that this doesn't open. Which one doesn't open? Oh, the Grok one doesn't open. How does the Grok one not open? Okay, I'm gonna go right here. New private window. Does it open? It should open. It opens for me. Which country are you in? So it might be a country related issue. Otherwise I'll have to print this out. I'll just save this right here. I'll save this. My goodness. Just cancel. Okay, let's go to save Microsoft print to, or save as might be. Why is it landscape? Portrait. Alright, I'm gonna save this as PDF. Cold Fusion links. Okay. So I will send this over to Takwa. Okay, and 1 second. Send the full PDF. Okay, here's the PDF. Okay, so there's the Grok one. I just printed it and send it to that person. All right, there it is. Okay, I see electrolysis.
Causes chemical changes. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Current flowing through a liquid. Now, not all liquids can conduct. The liquid can be a molten ionic compound or an aqueous solution. In either case, it must be able to carry current. Let's take a common example, table salt. If you heat sodium chloride to over 801 degrees Celsius, it will melt. The liquid will contain free-flowing positive sodium ions and negative chloride ions. This simply means that sodium and chloride ions are free to move within the liquid sodium chloride. Positive ions are called cations. Negative ions are called anions. Now consider putting 2 electrical conductors into the liquid. Copper would be good as it has a higher melting point. Nothing happens to the ions at this point, but if we connect the 2 bits of copper to an electrical cell or power supply, then things start to get interesting. We do need to sidestep for a moment to look at electrical current in a metal. From our lesson Behaviour of Metallic Structures, we know that electrons in a metal aren't bound to particular atoms. They form a sea of electrons that can move easily if a potential difference or a voltage is applied across it. This could be from an electrical cell or a battery. The electrons will begin to drift towards the positive terminal of the battery, and this is what happens when current flows. Current is the movement of charge, in this case, electrons. Now, let's go back to our molten sodium chloride. We've added our copper wires, let's call them electrodes, and now we'll connect these to an electrical cell. The electrons will start to flow in the wires, and this will cause one electrode to become positively charged and the other negatively charged. This has an immediate knock-on effect in the molten sodium chloride, which you'll remember is a mixture of sodium cations and chloride anions. Anything positively charged in the liquid, in this case the sodium ions, is going to be attracted to the negative electrode. And anything negatively charged, in this case the chloride ions, is going to be attracted to the positive electrode. This is because opposite electrical charges attract. When the ions meet the electrodes, electron exchange happens, and this triggers a chemical reaction. Solids can form, gases can be given off, and new solutions can be left behind. It all depends on the liquid and what material the electrodes are made from. There is more detail about this process in our lesson Interpreting Electrode Equations. There are special names for the electrodes, which are usually metal plates with a larger surface area than a piece of wire. The positive electrode is called the anode, it attracts anions, and the negative electrode is called the cathode, it attracts cations. The liquid is effectively conducting electrical current. The only difference is that the charge carriers in the liquid, in other words the charged particles that are moving, are ions. If a liquid has free moving ions and can conduct like this, it is called an electrolyte. Remember that electrolysis can also take place in ionic solutions as well as molten compounds. The more concentrated that solution, the greater the ion flow rate. Ion flow rate can also be increased by increasing the potential difference or voltage across the cell. We'll be studying several examples of electrolysis in more detail in other lessons. For the time being though, here is a summary of the key ideas about electrolysis. Electrolysis is the flow of electrical current in a conducting solution or molten liquid that causes chemical changes. The conducting liquid is called an electrolyte and has free moving ions. The conducting plates, bars or wires inserted into an electrolyte are called electrodes. Positive ions are called cations and are attracted to the cathode. Negative ions are called anions and are attracted to the anode. When current flows in an electrolyte, it is the ions that move and carry the electrical charge. When current flows in the electrodes and wires, it is the electrons that move and carry the electrical charge.
Alright, fascinating. I'm gonna go back to this cold fusion one. Just trying to... Okay, so this is electrolysis. So that's the key part right here. So passing electric current. This is the Martin Fleischmann and Pons. Fleischmann and Pons use a palladium cathode. So this is attracting the cathode, the positive cations, or just the positive ions called called cations, and then the platinum anode getting the anions or the negatively charged stuff. So it uses palladium, platinum, immersed in heavy water, and then so it's immersed in heavy water with a lithium salt. So other one had just was talking about a molten or just molten salt, and which becomes sodium and chloride separated. This one is using a lithium salt. So just using lithium, basically lithium is floating around. I think it's negative charge, and you have some other positive charge there. By passing electric current through the setup, electrolysis, they loaded deuterium into the platinum lattice. So the whole idea was to, so there's heavy water inside a lithium salt electrolyte, basically just in a solution. So you have lithium and I think there's lithium is anything else, but anyways, you have lithium, you have heavy water, and then the whole idea was to separate this deuterium, which would become positively charged, into the palladium, because the reason it's positive because it's hydrogen plus a neutron plus two neutrons. And so the positive is just, this is going to be the proton plus 2 neutrons, still going to be proton charge. And then they're loading this onto the palladium lattice. So you're fixing this inside the palladium cathode. After weeks, they observed bursts of energy. All right, so that's what they discovered there. It's pretty fascinating. All right, so Josh says, why is International Absorption Society and LENR not collaborating? Seems like they should be fused as one. Yeah, that's another. That's an interesting part. I wouldn't be surprised there's some sort of controlled opposition going on. Because again, the other part is, why aren't they talking about 9/11? They want. It's like everybody like leaves the elephant out of the room. So go LNE. Let's go to LENR website. Let's see, which is the main one? LENR.net. So this one right here. See how much views it gets. This gets, again, negligible. Interesting. Has they shifted over? Where is the main website on LENR? LENR, this paper, LENR, CANR. So there's a general reader. So there's a whole bunch there. And LENR ChatGPT, interesting. They have their own ChatGPT version of this. Okay, let's go and ask this stuff here. Okay, this is activation energy and so on. So another part is let's go to 9/11. show us the 9/11. It's like everyone ignores the elephant in the room. And also, speaking about elephants, guys. Speaking of elephants, there is a 13 elephants in the room. Or elephants. My goodness, it's like, how do you spell elephants? Okay, here, this one here. So yeah, more than so apparently there's still over like I think 1,100 bodies. So more than 1,000 bodies on 9/11 still have not been identified, even with DNA technology, since the human fragments are just too small. People, not just steel, aluminum, concrete, and office material, were literally turned to dust. So assuming that the average person is 150 pounds. Then 1,000 people would mean 150,000 pounds or 75 tons, which is equivalent to 13 elephants. And again, this is just the ones that are not identified. And there's about 40%. So I'll read this right here. So new DNA technology identifies 2 more 9/11 victims. This is from 2021. But as of, I think, 2024, there's still 1,100 not identified. So so more than 1,000 people. Yeah, so 40% of those who died in 9/11 have not been identified. So though many of their names appear in memorials across the nation, 40% aren't actually, they don't know which body part is which. So more than 1,000 people have never been officially identified. And if you go to, I asked Grok right here, or actually I asked in Leo, and I double checked with Grok. But anyways, so elephant is about 11,000 pounds. And so then divided by, so 11,000 pounds. So 150,000 divided by 11,000, you're going to get 13.6. These are just of the ones that are not identified. And the other ones identified, you can like literally just have like a tiny fragment of them. There's very few like large bodies that are found. Okay, and again, these are ones that not even DNA can find. And just think about it this way: if I told you there's a crime scene of 13 elephants, all right, do you think you'll be able to find any elephant there? Like, do you think you'll be able to find something there? So some DNA of an elephant. Yeah. Okay. Martin Fleischman Project has in our chat as ChatGPT. Yeah, that's pretty epic. Yeah. So also Martin Fleischman Memorial Project. He is Martin Fleischman. Yeah, this one is right here. He's done a lot of stuff on this as well. Some of it is just over my head. The terminology's next level. But yeah, so this is from Quantum Medium, and also Substack is pretty big as well. And I don't know why it doesn't put a link to Substack, but Substack's pretty big. And I got this one from, let's see, Cold Fusion. This one right here, I got it from his Bob Greeno's Substack right here. And I think he also has a chat on his remote view Substack. So new mainstream paper argues heavy elements are synthesized on Earth by LENR. And also, I think he has a chat, remote view chat as well, which is pretty good. I think this is where somebody posted the that Cold Fusion from Benjamin Franklin. All right. So anyways, guys, we have 32 minutes. Let me know if there are any questions. I asked the question about LENR during last live and was blocked. Wonder why, even though they say they appreciate criticism. You were blocked? Who are you on? Oh, he has an. Who did you ask? I asked a question about LENR during their last live stream on LENR. Interesting. They actually blocked you. Does the mutual information have to be greater than 0? Okay, this one. I'm gonna go back to here. Explain the inverse transformation of Z. I'm not sure what this is. I think you're doing more advanced math than I've ever done. I just do whatever my calculus book went through. People think I'm a math whiz. Well, no, I just follow my calculus. But except during my university, the first year I didn't actually go to school. Like I just stayed. I didn't want to go. It was too far. It was like an hour to 2 hours, like busing. So I just stayed home. And then I didn't know what was on the exam for the math course, so I read the entire calculus book. So I ended up knowing way more than I should have known. So explain the inverse transformation of Z. Okay, what does this mean? So first of all, ask Rock, what does it mean? Inverse transformation in the context of Z transform refers to a process of recovering the original time domain sequence. The Z transform is a tool used in signal processing. Oh yeah, I did some of this way back using the Fourier transform and so on. It's been a while. But that was one thing I really liked, but I didn't do too much on that. I didn't cover it in a while. Also, yeah, Josh asked, if you can give more info on this. You asked a question about LENR and they blocked. Are you sure they blocked you? Are you sure you just didn't show up? Did it say it was blocked? Did you give a reason? Like, just I don't want to accuse them of stuff like that because that seems a bit far fetched. Okay, so anyways, this is send it right here. Okay, and then this is what else is one? Does the mutual information have to be greater than 0? 0. Okay. I think you're next level. Does the mutual information does not have to be 0? Does not have to be greater than 0. It's always non-negative, and so on. So again, I can't stress this enough. Just ask Grok for a basic like Google type searches. And then you ask MES when Grok tells you the fake stuff, like if they say 9/11 was done by Osama bin Laden, then you got some issues. And also, this is the moon landing photos. There's like literally millions of these. Okay, and I want to close off some stuff here, and let's see what else we have in the show. Replied here. Okay, what does this guy reply? Is that comment? Okay, yeah, whenever he encounters an error, this is the AI bot. Okay, I'm gonna close some stuff. So yeah, electrolysis. Yeah, actually, I want to ask the stuff on. I'm gonna go to grok.com now. So Grok's moving away from that X to make it literally on here. I'm gonna go to where history was. Cold fusion. Okay. Oh yeah, actually, I think we got pretty much. Explain the electrolysis. Pons and Martin did in simple bullet points. Okay, let's see this. Say objective to demonstrate nuclear fusion at room temperature producing excess heat. Yeah, so this is the thing you can ask Grok to simplify it. So anyway, use a palladium cathode, a negatively charged electrode made of palladium, a metal that absorbs hydrogen isotopes that into its lattice structure. Use a palladium anode. A platinum anode, a positively charged electrode, inert and conductive to complete the circuit. Submerged electrodes in heavy water. Water from hydrogen is replaced by deuterium in a hydrogen isotope with 1 proton, 1 neutron. Added lithium salt, lithium lithium deuteroxide, an electrolyte, a substance that conducts electricity in solution. Yeah, so that's the extra solution that has the electricity being conducted. All right, and applied an electric current through the electrodes via electrolysis using electricity to drive a chemical reaction. Electrolysis splits water. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's pretty much splitting water molecules, loading deuterium atoms into the palladium cathode's lattice. Over weeks, the deuterium atoms packed tightly in the palladium, allegedly triggering fusion. So you get over weeks of that, you're just compacting all this deuterium inside and basically causing some fusion stuff because it's all bombarded. Josh says, I asked the relationship between LENR and absorption society, and my question was removed. Yeah, so okay, I want to go before that. This is the excess heat suggested a cooling barrier, and it was okay. So this is pretty much get this now. I'm done with the cold fusion stuff. All the technical stuff, I understand. So which are the websites of both right here? I want to ask them. I'm gonna ask right here. I'm gonna answer your question. Ask a question. Let's go back to the cold fusion one. Okay, it's pretty fascinating. I'm just fascinated AI can like literally take over the game. But again, you just gotta like, okay, what societies is this person referring to? And then he says, and my question was removed. I gotta see this. This is a Grok's super smart. Like, you can literally, let's see. This one is this what you meant? The absorption society. This is the referring to, likely referring to the International Society for Condensed Matter Nuclear Science, or the general societal context of. And then the other one is. So this one here, International Society for Condensed Nuclear Science, and where's the other one? Broader. Which is the other society? Is there another society? LENR society. Or is this? I'm gonna go as I think I'm gonna go over to the beginning. Society. So go all the way to the beginning. I'm gonna go over. Okay, organizations like the International Society for Condensed Matter Nuclear Science. Okay, so that's one of them, but where's the main LENR one? I'll make. Is this the main one, or is there's two of them? Okay, what is Society for Advanced Nuclear ones right here? Okay, this one here. This is the International Society for Condensed Matter Nuclear Physics. Actually, I'm gonna copy this as well. I'm gonna go. I think you should be able to open stuff. Like, I'm gonna go to put. So, anyways, guys, if you have any other links or set up, put it in here. Yeah, actually, Josh, if you could put links inside the Telegram, like right here where this thing is, so then we can see exactly what is easier to handle with. All right. What else is there? I'm gonna keep this cold fusion one on the Grok one, and see if there's any other comments on this one. Okay. Okay, another sorry encountered error. Okay, this AI in Leo one needs to up its game, but the fact that it's on the blockchain and it's there forever is a game changer. Is an absolute game changer for censorship resistance. Okay, condensed matter. Okay, so that's okay. So this one here is the International Society for Condensed Matter Nuclear Science. LENR. Is this LENR? It was founded to promote and support the field of low energy nuclear reactions. Let's see how much visitors this gets. Okay. Pages per monthly visits 861. So think about that. This one's this society is getting literally no views on their website, whereas my website, MES likes have a bunch of other stuff. 118,000. All right, 100,000. I have 1,000 more, 1,000 times more than them. Let's go. And so on. Okay, I'm gonna go to their YouTube. I'm gonna subscribe. They literally have nobody's on
20 years ago.
Oh, and they published the 60 Minutes stuff there. That's fascinating. So 60 Minutes, basically the DARPA, the Department of Defense, literally. I assume it's right. International Absorption Study on YouTube. Okay, international absorption. Okay, so I saw this one here. Okay, international. That's a separate one. Adsorption. Yeah, so basically absorption. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's International Absorption Society. LENR. Everybody, they never mentioned the word LENR. So what is the okay? What is this? Let's just subscribe to it. There's no mention of LENR on this. So what does this even do? What is adsorption? Use of solids for removing substances from either gases, liquids, solutions have been widely used since biblical times. This process known as absorption involves nothing more than preferential partitioning of substances. Is there the word nuclear at least? There's no word nuclear. So like this looks like a cover-up society. So but the thing is, why doesn't even mention LENR? Katsumuru, this one, carbons for absorption, extracted for adsorption science. All right, so I'm like more confused than ever. What are these guys on about? Okay. Let's go LENR. Okay, I'm gonna go. So these guys don't have any keyword of it. Okay, I'm gonna go ask. What relation does have with LENR? I don't think it's anything there. Okay. Okay, so it has no direct explicit relationship with it. However, there's an indirect connection through the scientific study of absorption, a process critical to LENR experiments, which could theoretically intersect with IAS's focus. Below, I clarify this relationship, explain absorption's role in LENR, address the lack of direct ties, incorporating technical terms with explanations and maintaining the narrative of suppression by mainstream academia. Understanding the International Absorption Society, IAS, what it is. Okay. IAS, or professional organization dedicated to advancing research or absorption and process where atoms, ions, or molecules adhere to a surface or absorb into a material structure like a metal lattice. It organizes conferences, supports publications, the journal at absorption, and fosters collaboration among scientists studying surface chemistry and material science. ISA covers absorption in contexts like catalysts, gas storage, environmental protection, and nanotechnology, and often involving materials like palladium and nickel, which are also used in LENR. So basically, it's LENR except minus the heat. Never heard of International Absorption Society till today. Yeah, I never heard about it either until now. Absorption's role in LENR definition: absorption in absorption in LENR refers to absorption of deuterium and hydrogen isotope with one proton, one neutron, from heavy water into a lattice. Yeah, so this is in LENR. It's basically absorbing. It's basically literally absorption. Why do you say adsorption and then there's adsorption is the absorption. It's the let's go back here. What it is on adsorption? It's basically where molecules are absorbed into. So why don't they just call it absorption? So adsorption is the absorption of molecules into metals. And this creates high deuterium to palladium ratios, deuterium atoms per palladium atoms, allegedly enabling fusion hot temperatures. Never heard of international absorption. Takwa, what is your religion? I have, I call it MES duality. It's very interesting. I don't have a specific. My quote religion is MES duality. I view reality as a projection of our thoughts. Basically, nothing exists but one thing, aka God exists. We're all just like incoherent fractals of it, and so on. Anyways, that's for another day. I'm just trying to figure out correlation between these two and can't find an answer. Thank you. Yeah. So there's no correlation, but it seems like IAS is like controlled opposition. And ISA does not engage with LENR and Primary Society for Research Organizing. Yeah, it does not. It does not go to it. It's basically mainstream cover-up science of it, and it's just pretending like LENR does not exist. All right. So that's that. We have 18 minutes to go, and I'm gonna close some stuff here. Ask Leo still going strong. Oh yeah. So last thing, if there's any other questions, I'll go into the next topic that I was told I will go into. All right. So I'm gonna close some stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna go. So this one here, Gary Jackson sent me this. This is a document, Nikola Tesla and the Pyramids. Recently, an unusual article appeared in several magazines and several websites about Tesla's interest in the pyramids. So Nikola Tesla's interested in the pyramids as well. Also, before we even get to that, so John Hudson is back on the stream. I mean, back on the on this thing here on YouTube. Let's see, I'll check my email if anybody sent me emails as well. Let's check on here. Okay, so John yeah, John still having get some issues logging. Okay, so this is John right here. So John created account. So let's see what John said here. Okay, so it's like. Okay, so these are so John finally got back his iPad, but he doesn't have his passwords. I sent him the password, so I have access to his account. So if I go to switch account, I have access to his. So he created a new account, but the thing is, his other one is using a different email, and I sent him the password to it. I'm like, yo, just log into the regular Hudson. In fact, don't create this other one. So so he says, love it. I got the extra pics, and he says hard to find a spit it up one. This one is just so bad. Okay, go faster. He said something else. Where did he say this? Okay, I think I'll just go to dashboard. But anyways, so John created this literally yesterday. 2 days, yesterday. So again, the guy's absolute clueless about digital computing. Like he is like everything is analog to him. Even like Tesla coils need to be like all the hand woven ones. And the spark gaps, like everything needs to be like the old school vacuum tubes. So I'm gonna go over to. So anyways, so he has one subscriber, and that's me. And this is a test photo. But again, I sent him an email, so I'm like, "What are you doing?" But also, I want to go back to this thing quickly, and we'll get onto this. Community. I think I'll just put this responded to. Yeah, so he noticed the table moved a lot. Was it floating? Yeah, so he saw the video. This was a photo, I think. Why can't I see the photo? Like, where is going here? Yeah, notice. Oh, that's a different link there. What did he comment on then? Okay, found it. What was this? Oh, this was the post there. Okay. Yeah, that was the post. This is the video. So you noticed the table moved a lot. Yeah, so basically, in the video, this time-lapse one. Okay, Josh, I'm just dummy trying to figure out a correlation between these two and can't find an answer. Yeah, and but anyways, Josh, but they blocked you. Are you sure they blocked you or they just ignored you? All right. So this one here, if you haven't seen this time lapse, never before seen, even John Hudson never saw this. So yeah, the table's literally like levitating and shifting, like it's moving slightly. Like absolutely mind-boggling. And he never knew about it. So I wrote right here in this video, I've condensed the earlier 1985 Jack Hawk footage of the John Hudson effect into a brief 5-minute video. So it's 5 hours. The earlier, so I was able to capture many effects not noticed by Jack Hawk, John Hudson, or Alex Mazzaro. These effects, such as the entire back table slowly shifting horizontally, and many small metal and aluminum foil pieces gradually moving, have literally never been observed for 40 years. So 40 years, this was never seen. 1985 to now, 40 years. It's never before witnessed. Just moving back and forth, back and forth. Go back here further. Yeah, all this. Look at that movement. Unbelievable. So 5 hours, you need to like literally watch it with a keen eye. Only way to see that times. Anyways, Time says, what about hydrogen and thermodynamics math discussions? Oh, that'd be cool too. Hydro and thermodynamics. Oh yeah, that could be something. But again, I think if you have a specific video, specific topic, yeah, we could go over that next stream. Actually, we can even go do some of that as well. Dynamics, thermodynamics math. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, but if you have a specific question, we can go over it as well. And also, St. David's, blessed manna chat. Yeah, so if you have a specific question about thermodynamics, let me know. And but right now, I want to open up this document that was sent. Let's see how long this is. Okay, we'll go over some of this because I have gone over some pyramid stuff. Let's just go over all of it, and then so we have 13 minutes to see if we can read it all. So recently, an unusual article had appeared in several magazines and on several websites about Tesla's great interest in the pyramids, which he allegedly believed to serve a higher purpose and which fascinated him so much that he explored them throughout his life. But also, yeah, Nikola Tesla. Also, wanted to point another part is a lot of people like have him kind of like a superhero kind of stuff. So yeah, obviously, he got a bunch of next level info, but also he was also big in eugenics. Okay, I can't even spell eugenics. Tesla. Let's see, Nikola. I think I wrote it before. I'll go back here. Tesla eugenics. So everyone is fair game for it. Okay, Nikola Tesla. I think he believed in eugenics. Okay, Tesla eugenics. So Nikola Tesla, this is Smithsonian. Inventor may have been brilliant, but his warped views on the future population reveals that in the end he was still just human. So he wrote about. So he wrote the year 2100 will see eugenics universally established in past ages. This is Tesla's prediction. So in February 9th, 1935, issue of Liberty magazine includes many other fascinating predictions by Tesla for the future of humanity, which we'll no doubt look at in the weeks ahead. But for the time being, I've transcribed only the eugenics portion of Tesla's predictions, below to remind us that we should be cautious when making gods of men. The year 2100 will see eugenics. We'll see eugenics universally established in past ages. The law governed the survival of the fittest through roughly weeded out the less desirable strain. The less desirable strain. What is this guy talking about? Then man's new sense of pity began to interfere with the ruthless workings of nature. As a result, we continue to keep alive and to breed the unfit. The only method compatible with our notions of civilization and the race is to prevent the breeding of the unfit by sterilization and the deliberate guidance of the mating instinct. Several European countries. Okay, let's go here. Several European countries and a number of states of the American Union sterilized the criminal and the insane. This is not sufficient. The trend of opinion among eugenists is that we must make marriage more difficult. Certainly, no one who is not a desirable parent should be permitted to produce progeny. A century from now, it will no more occur to a normal person to mate with a person eugenically unfit than to marry a habitual criminal. Or let's go. Or it sounded like Mein Kampf or some Nazi stuff. Anyways, it sounded like Klaus Schwab, like talking about Neuralink and AI and all this mumbo jumbo. So yeah. So Nikola Tesla there. I have that in my mind. Like, what is going on here? It's like he wants free energy for all, and the government's like suppressing it. Yet he's here talking about having population control and weeding out all undesirables and so on. You can't have it both ways. All right. So, anyways, that's pretty fascinating. Does this show up here? I'm gonna I think there's a better image. There's an actual image of the article. Eugenics. Why does it just show an image there? Let's see if this eugenics. Undesirables. Show the actual paper. My goodness. Okay. Anyways, I don't know where that paper is. 20 predictions. Or what is this called? Actually, I'll just do this. Show the image. My goodness. I want to see the actual paper. Eugenics in Britain. Yeah, eugenics was pretty big back then. A lot of now it's like now it's eugenics is happening, but like more closed doors. Okay, so there's where in the world is it? All right, anyways, let's get back on in the show. Okay, Z is a fair substitute eugenics. Anyways, what about hydro and thermodynamics? Anyways, let's go back to the thing. Okay, so we got Nikola Tesla. Okay, so he believed the pyramids served a higher purpose. The reason for this was the video Nikola Tesla Limitless Energy and the Pyramids of Egypt posted on YouTube channel, and so on. And the video text mentioned. Let's see what else was it. Art of transmitting. Okay. Ingenuity. Okay, this is it's hard to read all this. Okay, but anyways, this is this was the pyramid. Is real curiosity through transcendental numbers from finite. We very close to Pythagorean theorem. This is from World Perfect Creation by Modeling. Let's see what this one is. Is this the pyramid actual thing? No, this is the Euler's number ratio. Okay. Anyways, there was some pyramid stuff here. Wide left. Oh, so he had the Nikola Tesla's basic principles was phi golden ratio, and there's extra total. I'm trying to grasp all this. Like everybody has to make everything so confusing. Just okay. Anyways, there's pyramid height, and it's got some resonance and some other golden phi relations. Okay, what else is in here? Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't have time for all this. But I will do is Lost Grok. So yeah, also Grok is grok.com now is they made a website instead of just X thing. I'm gonna go and feed this in. Give me bullet points of the key info, claims, and findings. All right. Also, St. David says, "What's up, man? In chat. Never forget 9/11 Moonchild. Heard it here first. Let's go. Okay, let's go." Okay, so no documented statements or writings from Nikola Tesla mentioned pyramids or pyramid structures, despite claims in articles and videos. Interesting. Speculative connection, claims linking Tesla's work, in particular his art of transmitting pyramids as energy transmitters. Interesting. All right. Tesla machines such as the magnifying transmitter and Morton Club exhibit parameter ratios. Okay, yeah, so they which are closely aligned with cosmic constant like pi, phi, and e. But despite Tesla never explicitly mentioning these, interesting. Magnifying transmitter coils approximating pi, Wardenclyffe's towers aligning with the golden ratio 1.618 and pi/2, and then parallels with Egypt's pyramid, Egypt's ratio pi/2. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so no direct connection to the pyramids, but there's some numbers there. And I also have a Giza pyramid playlist. I should make these a bit better. I kind of half-fast these because I wasn't doing these kind of technical live streams. That's why I kind of I didn't do my usual like detailed setup. But I did find some pretty fascinating stuff here. So if I go to pyramid right here, Giza pyramid. So I have 2 videos on it so far. I should do another one once I get another thing. So this is the first one I did because someone mentioned that in my live stream and I looked at them like this is pretty interesting. So going back here. Okay, I'll make this bigger. So so if you scale the Giza pyramid to height 4, and yeah, so if you scale it to if you make the pyramid height 4, the base becomes literally 2 pi. And the angle right there, the length from here to here, from this bar to the top, is 5 times the golden ratio. And the 2 angles, you have the angle of the cross section. If you have that as alpha, and then you have the face angle, and also there's also the pyramid is actually 8 sides. There's actually a groove right here, a slight indent, which is pretty fascinating. And then if you divide by 4 times it by this angle divided by this angle, you get E. The number E. So in other words, these are the universal constants. They somehow show up in here now, and I think it's either deliberate. They use some sort of scheme that knows this, or I think there's a possibility that this was all just pure coincidence because. Or no, assuming not necessarily pure coincidence, but just that having just one proportion gets all these similar. So like if you're trying to make a perfect square or so on, or a pyramid, all these just if you just use, let's say you're just using golden ratio or something like that, it just shows up. But it is very, very fascinating that shows up. And I have a second one here. And the other one is if you take a cross section of the Giza pyramid, and basically. If you take a cross section, and then you flip the pyramid upside down, so now you have you make a diamond with a pyramid. And now if you draw a circle around the pyramid, you get a circumference roughly equal to 4. But if you take a square from the sides of the pyramid, you get a perimeter of 4. So in other words, you've circled, you've circled the square. So these I mean, yeah. You basically have the perimeter is the same. So you have the square and circle have roughly the same perimeter and circumference. So that's pretty interesting. All right, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, so we have I think 3 minutes left, but I think it's pretty much, or 2 minutes left. It's pretty much done. If anybody has any other questions and so on, and again, I guess I got a bunch of questions. If you have a lot of math stuff and so on, put it in here. And yeah, Tammy as well. If you have any questions about thermodynamics, put it in here, and then we'll see how it goes. But also, I need to get a Faraday cage. I need to build one because I am scared AF about the Tesla coil. All right, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna close some stuff. All right, that is all for today, guys. Let me know if you need anything. Or let me know if you have any other questions. And anyways, that's all. And also, speaking of the golden ratio and all this, I hopefully you like this. This right here, my video, the Trump's hair. So Trump's hair follows the golden ratio. Absolutely fascinating. And there's the golden spiral. Anyways, that is all for today. And I will close some stuff. And I'm gonna end the stream. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining. And have a great day. So this Saturday stream, I'm not sure what I should do. I might do a debunking MH370. Have a great day. Yeah, Ashton Forbes is on another level, guys. He's taking over the game. Okay, I posted there. I posted here. Okay, we are good to go. And ending the stream in 3, 2, 1, and have a good one, guys. Yeah, for sure, Josh. Yeah, let me know if any questions. I'll do the research live. Okay, have a good one, guys.